think that I am their ultimate goal and ultimate destination. They have no other agenda in their head. Such devotees, Bhagavan says, I lift them from samsara. I help them to come out of this samsara. And how? When he said, Nachirat Partha, hey Partha, Nachirat. Nachirat means immediately. When one attains this, see, there is no time mentioned in the scriptures. When we gain this particular attitude, one becomes free of samsara. How long it will take to gain that attitude? It depends on the individuals. But once that attitude is gained, one becomes free of this samsara. So, Nachirat means instantly. Bhavami Nachirat Partha Maya Veshita Chetasam. Because their chetas, their mind, their intellect is totally engrossed, obsessed, or entered into me. They have identified themselves totally to me. So, immediately they become free of samsara. It's like a person dreaming a horrible dream, a nightmare. And that, so two possibilities are there. One is that person wakes up by himself, or another somebody wakes him up, because that fellow makes such a big noise, so you wake that person up. And as soon as we wake up from our dream, the dream difficulty disappears. It doesn't take time. How long I will dream and all, it might have its own thing, but once we wake up, we are free of that, all our problem, instantly. Similarly, once we are tuned to God, like how Mirabai was tuned to God, how Tulsidas Ji was tuned, how Kabir Das Ji was tuned, how these great saints and sages of our land, they were tuned to that Lord, that they were not aware of anything else. Everything went on autopilot like. They're eating, they're walking, they're talking, they're living in this world, their relationship with this world, everything was taken care automatically. Their mind was tuned to Paramatma. So, Nachirat Partha, hey Partha, immediately I lift them from this samsara. Lift them is not that they die, but even while being here, they are free from the limitations of this samsara, of this world. Their limited identity with this body and all drops. They identify with Ishvara only. They come to know that their identity with Ishvara. So, Maya Veshita Chetasam. Because wherever our chetas, wherever our mind is, we go there. Mind is like it gives direction to our personality. So if our mind is in the world, we go to the world. If our mind is in God, we attain Him. Wherever our mind is, wherever our inner equipment, mind, intellect is, we reach there, because that gives direction to our life. Even when a person dies, wherever the mind was before death, that type of life one attains. Ya mati sa gatir bhavet. Whatever our mati, so is our gati. If before dying, if we remember, like we had seen in the 8th chapter also, one who chants Om and meditates on God and dies with that thought in mind, then one attains God. But one who dies with other thing in mind, then one attains that other life forms. So same principle works here also. Maya Veshita Chetasam, their mind is absorbed by me, so they attain me. Nachirat, I make them, I help them. So see, the Nirguna Upasana and Saguna Upasana, this is the main difference. In Nirguna Upasana, you negate all names and forms and all, and meditate on that which is beyond name and form, beyond all qualities, beyond all limitation. So there is, you drop all the outer forms. So it is like a person taking the path by his own strength and power. But in case of this Vyakta Upasana, we also seek as though the help and guidance and grace of that manifested power of the Lord. So there is more ease and there is less of difficulty. There is difficulty is there, but less of difficulty in this Vyakta Upasana. But the main thing is to place our mind, intellect in God. So how to go about doing this? What are the steps which we have to take? So that Bhagavan now explains in the following verses. A very beautiful step-by-step technique is revealed. Mayyeva mana adhatsva Mayi buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyashi mayyeva Ata urdhvam na samshayah Mayyeva mana adhatsva Mayi buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyashi mayyeva. So Bhagavan says, therefore, we have to do this sadhana, means our upasana. Try to feel the presence of that divinity, Ishvara, in and through our life. So Bhagavan says, Mayi eva mana adhatsva. You place your mind in me alone. Mayi eva, in me alone. Me means that Vishwaroop, God in his manifested form, as Ishvara, with all his power and grace. So Ishvara, as the creator of this world, as sustainer of this world, as the one who dissolves this world, one who is all pervading, one who is all powerful, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvatma, one who is the self of all, Sarvajna, one who is all knower. So one has to place one's mind in God. Mind is made up of our emotions. So thoughts only, mind is thoughts. But mind is directly connected to our senses also. So whatever we see, hear, taste, touch, we respond to it. Our response to what we see, hear, taste, touch is through what we call our mind. Like I see something nice, our mind feels a sense of great joy. So that is mind. Sometimes I see something which is not good, my mind responds with a little irritation. That's also mind. So mind is it's a controller of all our senses. Mind is also a seat of emotions. Response is our emotions. So we experience happiness, joy, sorrow, pleasure, pain, fear, greed. All this is experience, wherever it is experienced, that is called the mind. That is the mind. Even animal birds, they also have their mind. They also have their feelings. When you go home and the pet dog looks at you and wags his tail and all, that is emotion only. So much joy. Therefore, people like to have pets at home because they are the only one who express so much joy. Like every day you go home and they are there. Other people then, after some time, they take you for granted. आ गए बाबूजी बैठो अभी चलो. But a dog, he welcomes you as though the Lord has come and wags his tail like anything. And they also feel jealous. If you bring another pet and all, they get really annoyed, this fellow, from where it has come. So they have their own jealousy, their pride. If you're on the road and all, you will see some dogs, they walk with so proud ekdam. More proud than their owner also. बेचारा वो पीछे दौड़ते रहते हैं उसकी. So they have their pride, they have their anger, they have their fear. This is mind. Same mind which we had in our animal life continues in the human life also. Same type of anger. Luckily we have the intellect, but otherwise anger is same. Anger, jealousy, pride, greed. Like some of these monkeys and all, they keep things in their mouth. बहुत सारा इकट्ठा करके रख देते. Greed only. So greed, all these emotions are there in the mind. Feelings, these are some negative, but there are positive feelings like great joy, great sense of peace and feeling of goodness, kindness. All these are also felt in the mind. You see someone nice, your friend and all, the great joy. So that is the mind which is responding to the external stimuli. Mind responds to the external stimuli in positive or negative emotions. Intellect is one which judges these emotions. Intellect is one who decides. Intellect is one which uses the thoughts to weigh the pros and cons, to judge and decide what is better, what is not better. So intellect is that equipment within us which can look into these emotions and judge them also, and at times control them. For example, one sees something and you get angry and you feel like hitting that person, reacting with a harsh word or something. It is the intellect which says that it's not a good idea. That fellow is more strong, and he is your boss. Boss is always strong. And if you react in this way, angry and all, he will remove you from the job and you will be in trouble. All these things is said by the intellect, not by the mind. Mind continues to feel angry, but the intellect keeps some lagam on that mind. It says, you please control that anger. Keep it like that. When you get the time, we'll see. Abhi jara shant. So intellect is a very interesting equipment which we have, which judges, which weighs the pros and cons. That's also thinking instrument, but it has got this ability to weigh, to discriminate. But there are people who don't use their intellect. So they just, whatever comes to the mind, they just react to that. So that is called reaction. And that is what even animals, they don't use their intellect. Maybe it might be there in their rudimentary form. So they just react. So there is no thinking involved. But a human being doesn't react. He responds. But there are some who just reacts. But a person who uses his intellect, he responds. So situation is there, and there is a feeling which comes out, and then the intellect judges the whole situation and tells us what is the right course of action. So intelligent person acts, and a non-intelligent person reacts to the world. So as our Pujya Gurudev says, there is no sin in action. In the sense, one should act, but to react is sinful, is not proper. So both these equipments are there, and Bhagwan here tells us that place your mind in me, means your feelings in me, and how it can be done with the help of our senses. And also with the help of our right understanding. Whatever I see, whatever I hear, whatever I taste and touch, you feel, you understand that that is divinity. So respond to that, react to that divinity. Suppose I see, like for example, we do puja and we get that prasad. It is also the same like something to eat. But when we take it, our mind responds to it in a different way. Why? Because though I am seeing it, but I understand it as prasad and I have great reverence for it, so my mind responds to it in a different way. Flowers and all, when which was offered to the Lord, we respond to it in a different way. It's also the reaction of the mind only, with the help of our senses, but that is a positive, divine response. So that is the idea behind our puja also, that use all your senses, but react to the situation with your mind in a positive, in a divine way. So when I do puja, all the senses are utilized. The eyes are used to see the beautiful form of God. So one can take any form which one likes, which one feels attraction towards. Various images are given in our scriptures. Word pictures are given in our scriptures. Like the word picture of Lord Vishnu, Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam, Padmanabham, Suresham. This is the word picture of Vishnu Bhagwan lying on that Shesh, Nag and Lakshmi and all those. The great beautiful image is there. Similarly, word picture of Lord Shiva is given. A word picture of Lord our Krishna is given. Bhagwan Sri Ramchandraji is given. So these are dhyana. Dhyana, and the dhyana is given, the image is given. One can have those in the form of pictures or a murti. It helps. And one responds to it. So with our eyes, we see that image and the mind responds with a great feeling of joy. That is called placing the mind in God. Then our ears listen to the ghanta nada or to some chanting, and the mind responds to it with great joy. See, when we hear our favorite bhajan or some chanting which we understand and we have liking for it, our mind responds to it with a great feeling of upliftment in the heart. That is called placing the mind in God. With the help of the senses, we place the mind in God. Then our nose also, we show the agarbatti and offer flowers and all, and we get the fragrance. There's a typical fragrance in a temple or during the puja or during a yajna, and that our mind responds to it with a uplifting feeling. Then also our touch, we touch the various, while doing the puja and all, we also touch the Lord or the murti. So through the touch. So shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, the taste, the prasad which we eat, and gandha, the fragrance. So through this we feeling towards Lord.